Hi everybody, Chef Norman Van Aken here for another episode of our treasure books. I think almost anyone watching this is going to be aware of the American treasure of Alice Waters. If Alice Waters has a hero, and I think she does, at least one, it's going to be the person who wrote or has inspired this book, and that is Lulu of Provence, Lulu Peyraud of Domaine Tempier fame. The book was written by Richard Olney. Now, I first came to know of Richard Olney before I even knew of Alice Waters by the Time Life series of books that we began to get. I think every other month one would come to the home that we had in Key West, or all along the far part of the library over there. I don't know, there's 20-something books that Mr. Olney was the editor of and for. I know that Jeremiah Tower was one of the people that helped him on the project too. So you see there is kind of a loop going on here between Richard Olney, Alice Waters, Jeremiah Tower, and Lulu. Lulu, again, inspired Alice, who Alice inspired me as well as so many others. This book, Lulu's Provençal Table, is a first edition, and she, and so did Richard Olney, they both signed this for me. I can see what he wrote because Richard Olney was originally from Iowa, but I asked my French-speaking friend, but she was in France, so I didn't get to get a translation. Anyone that can read this and translate it, it would be swell if you would put that in the comments and share with us what she had written. But I was with our friends Prole and Connie Perry and their children, in Provence, and one magical day night, we were there at their home, and Lulu, as she preferred to be called, was tending 2 legs of lamb when we entered their farmhouse, which was just the most idyllic place. I have some photos. I couldn't print them out, but I'll put them on the website so that you can see them as well. But of what it was like to walk into her home and smell the leg of lamb. Her hearth, this was not like put 2 legs of lamb in the oven. No. These things were hanging off her rack on some heavy twine, big legs of lamb. And then she was taking long brush of rosemary stems that she had put together and was just basting them with olive oil that had been infused with garlic. And this was rosemary that she pulled from right outside of her garden here. So you have this image of this rather petite French woman who's probably 70 years old by this point in time, welcoming us, easy to say, welcoming us into her home for this magical lunch. And of course, having the wines of Domaine Tempier the entire time. The circle of friends includes another one now, although not directly involved in the projects, but certainly involved for his appreciation with Domaine Tempier, and that's the poet, novelist, screenplay writer, Key West hanger-out, Jim Harrison. Jim loved Domaine Tempier, his favorite wine. This is a beautiful book showcasing the cuisine of Provence. If you have any interest in Mediterranean food, and who does not, this is a book that you're going to want to get. And I noticed there is a sort of a beautiful symmetry between the way the book looks and the way the Chez Panisse menu cookbook looks as well. There are not a lot of photographs. There's a beautiful one of her husband, Lucien, dressed up in his wine garb, split pea soup, sorrel soup, bourrade, grilled fish with 2 sauces. Simple, direct, powerful, unadorned, unfussy. If I could time transport you, I would, to that day in the house. Oh, another winemaker, Donald Patz. Hey, Donald, hope you see this, who wrote me a postcard in 2018. So once again, I like to find fitting books to put letters and postcards and pictures in, and of course, Donald, being the consummate wine man that he is, I felt he'd be comfortable in here. Stuffed duckling with turnips. The thing is that this book on a website like Thrift Books, I bet you could get it for under $10, and you will love it forever. Oh my gosh. Here's the dining room table. We sat at this table. I think there was probably 10 or so of us that day, and it was a quaint setting. Nothing fussy about it. There was some kind of little mini piano that after we had lunch and after we had had some wine, Lulu sat and played at, and then later, before we had to get in the car, and Prohl, of course, always drove, God bless him, before we had to go back to wherever we were staying, Lulu and I went out on the porch and sat into some sort of like a chaise lounge kind of a thing. And there's this picture of her and I drinking one more glass of Domaine Tempier and toasting a new friendship, which, when you can fold that into a great book, you are a very lucky person. So that's why this is one of my treasure books, and I hope you'll get your own copy one day before long. I'll talk to you again soon with another treasure book. Have a good one.